As I'm saying this, it's been nearly a week since a 24-year-old man attempted to kill Salman Rushdie, a 75-year-old author. And I kind of wanted to say something about that. I wasn't going to actually, but it seems to be still rumbling on. And one of the reasons it's still rumbling on is because this was done in the name of Islam. So the brief background for those who don't remember it from way back in the 1980s is that Salman Rushdie wrote a novel, a fictional novel called The Satanic Verses, and its contents were offensive enough that the Ayatollah Khomeini issued a fatwa against him, which essentially means that he is inviting all faithful Muslims to kill Salman Rushdie in the name of Allah. If you go and read the Quran, Surah 5, Ayat 32 to 33, I think it is, you'll see the justification for this. It basically says that if you take a life unjustly, that it will be you'll be judged as though you took the life of all humanity. But here are the conditions under which you can kill someone, and one of them is to wage war against Allah. If you read the associated tafsir, Ibn Kathir's tafsir about that verse, you can see that he says very clearly that to wage war can mean disbelief or not following the correct procedures to adhere to Islam. These are things which can be classed as wage war against Allah and will justify you killing that person. So basically, the verses in the tafsir taken together say that you can kill anybody that you don't think is a devout Muslim, and Allah is okay with that. And as you can understand, that's not really okay by modern Western sensibilities, and I utterly condemn that attitude. I utterly condemn the attack, as any sane person should. However, the issue is that plenty of prominent Muslims, many of whom are on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of that, they refuse, or rather, they've been completely silent on this. This happened, and most of them have said nothing. There are Muslim councils and Muslim individuals who have condemned the attack, although it's not clear to me what basis they're using to do that, because you know, if you've read that verse in the tafsir, then it's kind of clear. But yeah, good for them. That's awesome. It's good that they're living in the real world and not sticking to a book of fairy tales. I say that in parentheses because obviously 2 billion people in the world do not believe it's a book of fairy tales. I personally believe that you can still say it's a book of fairy tales and believe it's divinely inspired. I'm not in any way trying to insult anyone who thinks that the Quran is divinely inspired or divinely authored. That's fine. That's not what this video is about. So yeah, I mean, it's sort of the attack has sort of backfired though. If the guy was trying to, and the guy hadn't even read the book. They asked him afterwards, and he admitted he'd read 2 pages of the book. He's 24 years old. He wasn't even born when the book came out in, I think, 1988. So, you know, it's ridiculous. If you're going to try and kill someone, I mean, know why you're doing it, you know? Anyway. So, yeah. Anyway, I was in discussion with various people about this last night, and somebody said to me, why should we condemn this attack? Basically, his position was, we didn't do this, a singular Shia guy did this, we shouldn't be held responsible. And I do take that point, right? But you know that this is a Muslim attack. You know, I mean, it costs nothing. It costs nothing to say that was bad. It costs nothing to condemn that attack, does it? I condemn it. Why would you not condemn it? Why would you want to remain silent when you could easily say, that's despicable, I condemn it? So yeah, anyway, it's bizarre. The whole thing surrounds a very odd incident in Islamic history, actually, and this which I'm not going to go into here actually, because that's going to take another 5 minutes on this video, but yeah, maybe I'll do another one on that. But anyway, yeah, it's as I was saying before, it's kind of backfired, because if the aim was to put a stop to Salman Rushdie's heresy or whatever, you know, infidelity or whatever, then that's failed, because guess what? The Satanic Verses is now selling like hotcakes on, you know, Amazon and Barnes and Noble and so on. They're selling more copies of the book than they have in years. People are going to be reading it. They're going to be using the internet now, which wasn't available in 1988 to most people. They're going to be using the internet now to look up the Satanic Verses incident, where Muhammad told the assembled crowd that it was okay to worship Al-Lat, Monat and Al-Uzza, the pagan goddesses, and then he came back later, I think a couple of days later, and claimed that Satan made him say it. It turns out I am going to describe the whole thing to you. So yeah, so that's what happened. Muhammad announced to the assembled crowds, and the context seems to be that he was trying to make Islam sound palatable to non-believers so that they would join the religion. So he told the crowd that they could worship their three pagan goddesses, and that they would act as intercessors between the people and Allah, you know, much like the saints do in Catholicism, and you know. And then he came back and said, no, Shaitan told me to say that, and I thought it was Jibreel. But all of the other stuff I've been telling you definitely comes from Jibreel, but I couldn't tell the difference then, and now Jibreel has come to me and told me the difference. So it raises a huge question. I mean, this is openly, I was going to say admitted, but it isn't just admitted, it's openly stated in the earliest biographies of Muhammad's life. It just says this, and up till recently it's been totally accepted that this happened, and yet modern Muslims don't like it to the extent where they claim that Islamophobes have made this up. The problem, in case you can't see it, is that if the Quran is the word of Allah, delivered to Muhammad by Jibreel, then that is totally dependent on Muhammad recognizing Jibreel. So in this instance, Shaitan was able to masquerade as Jibreel to the extent that Muhammad couldn't tell the difference, and to the extent where Muhammad recited verses from Shaitan. And that means that the entire Quran could be like that. If you believe that Allah and Shaitan exist, and that the Quran is authored by Allah, then but you also accept that Muhammad maybe couldn't tell the difference between Allah's angel Jibreel and Shaitan, then maybe there are other verses in the Quran. Maybe that one that says maybe 532 and 533 are from Shaitan, the ones that say that you can kill all infidels. Maybe Shaitan said that. Maybe Islam was supposed to be a religion of peace. Maybe. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that for a second, and that's what I've done. If you have any comments on either the Satanic Verses incident in Muhammad's life or this horrifying attack that has just happened to Salman Rushdie, then please feel free to comment. My thoughts and feelings and best wishes go out to everyone out there who is an ex-Muslim, because this will be a stark reminder that there's no rest from the constant threats. I mean, I'm primarily thinking about ex-Muslim activists, but this does apply to any ex-Muslim, really. You know, my thoughts are with you. I mean, you know, stay safe, basically, because this is a reminder that this could happen to anyone. It could even happen to me. I'm not an ex-Muslim, but I am an amateur enthusiast of all religions, and Islam's a popular one, so I've been looking into it this last year or two, and it's been fascinating. So anyway, that's all I had to say. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe, and most importantly, ring the notifications bell. and yeah, be excellent to each other.